There will not be a steering wheel. In 20 years, it will be like having a horse. People have horses, which is cool. But
So having a regular car will be like having a horse. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, yeah. And there will be people that have non-autonomous cars, like people have horses. It just would be unusual to use that as a mode of transport. Yeah, 10 years, man. I think, yeah. So half of all production, I think, will be EV. I think almost all cars produced will be autonomous in 10 years. Almost all. It will be rare to find one that is not in 10 years. That's going to be a huge transformation.
Autonomous vehicles are here to stay if the leaders within the world of driver technologies are to be believed. These technologies may not be as far off as one may think, especially when considering that many of these technologies exist within one form or the other. Think about the brain of the autonomous vehicle, with specific thought to the type of data that it needs to receive for it to synthesize to reflect the decisions it will continuously make. Such data will be collected with the use of technologies that already exist today, some of them including LiDARs and radars, driver monitoring, dynamic cruise controls, and pedestrian detectors, amongst a host of others. It is only fitting that Elon Musk would think that driverless technologies are bound to dominate the near future, what with all the touted benefits that the technology promises. However, how did we get here? The vehicle, much like the mobile phone, has seen its adoption and influence on large populations, and societies grow, albeit perhaps at a slower rate of adoption. The evolution of the vehicle as we know it today. As earlier discussed, Carl Benz is credited with the creation of the first gas-powered vehicle that was later commercialized by Henry Ford. However, in the grand scheme of the evolution of the car from whence it began, as a steam-powered vehicle to the form that it currently takes, can be attributed to Benz, as his creation of the gas-powered automobile sparked the beginning of its evolution. Ford's invention of the assembly line in 1906 proved to be the difference, however, as the invention allowed his company to produce cars at an unprecedented scale, a move that made cars more available to the public due to economies of scale. In addition to this, the implementation of the mass production of vehicles meant that the company was able to continually add new features to its vehicles, with some of the first features being items that include windshields, speedometers, seatbelts, and rear view windows. And yes, you may ask when turn signals were added to vehicles, and the answer would be 1939. They were added to the Buick brand of vehicles, and at the time of their addition, features such as electric windows and air conditioning had already been installed in some vehicles by then. Beyond their function, cars began to acquire luxury features in the 1950s, a period of time in which features that are now considered mainstream were just being introduced. Consider that some of the earliest installations of power steering technology in vehicles was done around 1951. Other features, such as cruise control, 3-point seatbelts, and heated seats, were also introduced within this time period. Innovation seems to be a key component within the automotive industry, especially when one considers the level of competition. Innovation, a process that allows car makers to introduce features to their vehicles, motivates car manufacturers to beat each other to the introduction of new features to their vehicles. This is so because these features are most often used as selling points for the vehicles themselves, and thus it only makes sense that the car manufacturers want to include features that are either going to A, make their vehicles more attractive to similar vehicles in the market from a features point of view, or B, standardize their vehicle when compared to its competitors within the industry. Subscribe to our channel to stay tuned for our weekly videos, or visit our website at www.lensebooks.com.